A new storm warning against Israel is emerging from Yemen. Chilling warning of a fresh chapter of bloody conflict by none other than the chief of the pro-Iran Yemeni militia. Al-Houthi urges Muslims to prepare against Israel and the U.S. in a fiery message. A chilling new warning is rippling across the Middle East, raising fears that another violent chapter between Israel and Yemen's Iran-backed Houthis may be rapidly approaching. The chief of Yemeni militia, Saeed Abdulmalik Badr al-Din al-Houthi, in a televised speech, dropped a chilling threat against none other than their biggest enemies, Israel and the U.S. He warned that Houthi rebels are preparing day and night for the next inevitable round of war with the United States and Israel. According to Press TV, Houthi boss said, "We are aware of the enemy's malicious plan, hence war preparations are underway." He also urged Muslim nations to be vigilant and prepared to take on the U.S. and Israel. Al-Houthi further mocked the U.S., saying they failed to contain us despite their deadly weapons and military operations against us. In a fiery televised speech, the Ansarullah leader also warned against U.S.-Israeli schemes aimed at reshaping the region. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has reportedly publicly spoken of the so-called Greater Israel vision, which includes the occupied Palestinian territories as well as parts of Egypt, Jordan, Syria, and Lebanon. Al-Houthi said, "Enemies through their tools in the region are trying to normalize killing and violations." He also rejected calls to disarm the resistance, saying such demands are designed to leave the region defenseless. The speech comes just one day after Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz vowed to maintain military pressure against multiple regional actors, including Yemen, following months of Houthi operations linked to the Gaza conflict. Houthis began targeting Israel and Israel-linked shipping in the Red Sea in November 2023, after Israel launched its war in Gaza following the October 7th Hamas attack. In the months that followed, Houthi activity escalated, including drone strikes that reached Tel Aviv, triggering repeated U.S. and Israeli airstrikes across Yemen. Despite those strikes, the Houthis say their capabilities remain intact. Since the start of the ceasefire in October, the group has paused attacks but continues to warn it is ready to resume operations if the truce collapses. With a fragile ceasefire and escalating rhetoric, the Middle East is set to become a new flashpoint.
The United States Navy is now linking extreme operational stress to a cascading series of dangerous accidents aboard the USS Harry S. Truman Strike Group during combat operations against Yemen's Houthi forces. Multiple Navy investigation reports released this week reveal that the carrier group was operating under what officials described as significantly stressful deployment conditions when an F-18 fighter jet was lost in May after an arresting wire failed during recovery. From March 15th to May 6th, the USS Truman spearheaded Operation Rough Rider, a relentless combat campaign targeting the Houthis for repeated attacks on merchant shipping and U.S. warships. In just 52 days, U.S. aircraft executed more than 1,000 airstrikes, unleashing over 1 million pounds of ordnance. Flight operations ran at a blistering tempo, including 72 straight hours of uninterrupted combat missions. But the operational surge carried a heavy price. Across its full deployment from September 2024 to May 2025, the Truman Strike Group suffered 4 major crises: a friendly fire incident in December, a collision with a merchant vessel near the Suez Canal in February, and the loss of 2 separate F-18 fighter jets in April and May. In the friendly fire episode, the USS Gettysburg mistakenly fired 2 missiles at returning U.S. fighters. One missile streaked past just 1 to 2 plane lengths behind a cockpit. The second forced a split-second ejection. The crew survived, rescued by helicopter, but the jet was lost. Then, in February, the Truman slammed into a civilian vessel near Port Said. 8 sailors were working barely 10 feet from the impact zone. Investigators say if the collision had shifted just 100 feet forward, it would have torn into a berthing compartment where 120 sailors were asleep. No U.S. service members were killed in these 4 incidents, but the margin between survival and catastrophe was razor thin. The financial toll is now estimated at nearly $164 million. One lost F-18 alone was valued at $67 million. Emergency collision repairs cost close to $700,000, with full repairs still pending. The Navy says exhaustion, sleep deprivation, collapsing morale, and breakdowns in standard operating procedures all converged under combat pressure. Vice Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Jim Kilby, said the Navy remains committed to accountability, though key sections detailing disciplinary action were redacted from public release. The senior Navy official acknowledged plainly every one of these incidents was avoidable. Former Navy captain and defense analyst Bradley Martin warned the failures reveal deeper stress fractures, saying the events suggest the Navy may not yet be fully prepared for the realities of prolonged, high-intensity combat. As scrutiny intensifies over readiness, fatigue, and command judgment, the Truman investigations leave behind more than damaged aircraft. They expose the human strain and operational risks at the core of modern naval warfare.